Hey, Rainbow here and welcome to my channel. I want to talk about this bike right here. This is kind of an exciting bike. No, I'm not going to buy it, and no, I am not going to test ride it. Although I really want to, but if I'm going to test ride this bike, I want to test ride this bike on a track, because that's really what this is designed for. You are looking at the 2021 Ducati Panigale V4 SP. All right, what does SP stand for? It means sport production, and engraved on the bike is the number of production. Now, it was not a limited run, but it is a limited production without an ending number. I guess that's the best way to put it. I don't even know how they come up with that. This is really designed for someone to take to the track. This is a track day bike, and it's designed to take the average rider and make them better. And what Ducati says is that if you take this SP out, you're going to do better. If you're an amateur rider especially, you're going to be faster on this SP than you would if you were, for example, on the V4R, because the V4R is definitely more demanding. All right, so let's look at a couple things here, and I got a bunch of this information, by the way, from ultimatemotorcycling.com, who had actually a nice write-up about this, so I want to go over some of this stuff. Okay, now for the highest performance, what they're saying is that it comes with an STM dry clutch. STM, of course, is made in Italy, so it's an Italian company putting a dry clutch on this V4 SP. Okay, that's one of the things. So you're going to have that really cool sound on this. Now, this is an 1103cc motor, this V4. It has 214 horsepower, and that's at about 13,000 RPM. Now, there's a lot of carbon fiber on this bike. On this particular bike, some more carbon fiber was added than what it even comes to. But the big thing is, the way I look at it is that the carbon fiber wheels, which really saves probably somewhere around 3 pounds than the regular forged aluminum wheels that the regular V4 comes with. Now, this has first class braking. It comes from Brembo. It's a fantastic system. It's that Brembo MCS 19.21 system, and it actually has remote adjustment of the brake to lever travel ratio. Really, really cool. The billet aluminum foot pegs. Now the mounts are adjustable, which is what you want to hear, because you can now move them to a more comfortable position, especially when you're going to be taking it to the track. Although this is a bit of an expensive bike to take to the track. I believe when these things first came out, you're looking at $37,000 to buy one brand new to put in your order if you put your order in early. Once they came out, I'm pretty sure these things shot up to like the $55,000 range. All right. Now, this particular one that is in stock down in Pompano at Ducati Forza, it's Two Wheels World in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's got about 1,300 miles, and it's in stock. It's currently on consignment, which is how I was able to look at it. I really would love to ride it, but if I'm going to ride this bike, I don't want to take it on a street. This is the kind of bike that I want to take on a track and feel it out and see how it feels and how easy it is to ride on the track. Okay, now it has 520 chain, and this is a lot lighter than your standard Panigale chain. Okay, which is kind of a big deal, because think about it, you're saving a whole pound just on the chain itself. There's aluminum top triple clamp, and then on that top triple clamp is where that number is that I told you, the production number that they have on there. And let's see what else we have on here. And it has a cover for the parts that you want to remove for track days. So if you want to take the mirror mounting holes and the license plate holder, they have covers for those parts that you're going to take off for track day. So again, this bike was specifically designed for you to take to the track. That's what this is designed for. It's really for the amateur rider to have a good time on the track. Now, at around $55,000, is that the range that they're going in right now? Is that the bike you want to take to the track, or is it something that you just want to enjoy on the road and just keep in your garage? That's going to be up to you. There is always a market for people who want bikes like this. Now, This has a GPS module in it. It has the Ducati data analyzer, and it has a telemetry kit, which means it'll send it out. So if you set up in the pits, you can actually see where you're at and what's going on at every single point in the track. So you literally will feel like a MotoGP rider. This is really, really cool. Of course, it has an Öhlins semi-active electronic suspension. There's also an Öhlins steering damper that comes on this. Now, you're not going to have any passengers on this bike because it comes with a solo seat and no passenger pegs. Let's explain something here. I'm going to repeat it. This bike was designed for you, the average rider, the amateur track rider, to take it to the track and enjoy it. This has that matte black livery, however you want to say it, and that's the same kind of color that you see when they're testing out the MotoGP bikes in the winter time. And of course, the fuel tank has that brushed aluminum finish, just like the Street Fighter SP. They go with the aluminum finish on the tank. All right. Again, these things were about $37,000 to put them on initially. Now, about this motor. This has a 90-degree V4, but it has the counter-rotating crankshaft, which is supposed to help you with vibration and increase horsepower when you need it. The displacement, like we talked about before, is 1,103 cc's. It's about 214 horsepower at 13,000 RPM. Now, the maximum torque on this is 92 foot-pounds, and that is at 10,000 RPM. It is a desmodronic actuated. We all know that because other than the multistrada, the newer multistradas, everything is still a desmo. There's 2 injectors per cylinder when it comes time for fueling. It is a 6-speed transmission with straight cut gears. All right, and the clutch is hydraulic, and we talked about the chain. It's a 520 chain. This does have an aluminum aluminum monocoque frame. It's a fully adjustable front forks with Öhlins. It's the NIX 30 with the 43 millimeter, and it has an adjustment movement of 4.7 inches. It has fully adjustable TTX 36 shocks in the back, again fully adjustable Öhlins, and it has 5.1 inches of travel. Does come with those carbon wheels. It's got a 17 by 6 by 17 on the front, and on the rear it's a 3.5 by 17, but I think those numbers are backwards. I'm pretty sure that this rear wheel is a 6-inch wheel and the front is a 3.5. When the bike came brand new, it came with the Pirelli Diablo Supercorsa SPs. You think it would match? And the front tire, and by the way, when I said the front wheel and front tires, those I was talking about the actual wheels themselves. The tires are 120/70/17 on the front and a 260/17 on the rear, which is why the rear wheel is a 6-inch. All right, 330 millimeter Brembo discs, duals on the front with that R4 caliper. You have the single disc 245 millimeter on the back. It has ABS. Bosch is the manufacturer for the cornering ABS and the EVO. Wheelbase on this is about 57.8 inches. The rake is 24.5 for those that are really into that. The trail is 3.9. The seat height, 32.9 inches. That's about average. Fuel capacity is 4.2 gallons. I think that's pretty good for this type of bike. And the curb weight, which means kind of out the door, is 427 pounds. So this is a really cool bike. It's not something that I would purchase. It's not something, I'm not going to say this isn't in my budget, but if I only had to own one bike and I went to the track, I could afford this bike, but I'd rather own several bikes than spend that kind of money on this bike. But there is someone out there who would love to have this bike. This is down in Pompano Beach, Florida. It's available, and I think it's a really cool bike. So every now and then I like to review a bike that I think is like really cool that I would love to get my hands on. In this case, I can't get my hands on it to test ride it, although I would love to. Unfortunately, the track that we have nearby is no longer in existence, and we have to drive either all the way down to Homestead, which is going to be like an hour and a half, 2-hour ride for me to a track that I don't really like, or all the way up to Jennings, which is about 5.5 hours, which I'm willing to drive to use that track. But more on that coming up. Anyway, this is Rainbow. I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. Thank you very much and have a great day.